Credible Hulk here, and we are T minus 50 seconds to achieve orbit playing Kerbal Space Program. I just wanted to welcome everybody back. We have our course plotted. I'm going to go ahead and do our experiments now. All right, and we're going to rip into start our maneuver. We need to hurry up and achieve this because we're going to run out of fuel. And we ran out of fuel. Okay, so we did not achieve orbit because I went light and ran out of fuel. But at least we can alter that a little bit because we're just going to add a couple more. With this, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, with the next stage. And our gears are overheating. Doesn't look like they're going to take too much damage yet, though. I thought I heard an explosion, but I don't see anything missing. Even the goo thing's still there. Deploy the gears. Deploy the chute. Deploy our additional chute. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll go ahead and cancel the maneuver. It's not like we're going to do the maneuver anyway. All chutes are successfully deployed. We have decreased our surface speed to 4 meters per second. And our landing gears struts, I do believe, survive up to 9 meters per second, I believe. But it'll also be based off the weight. I didn't look at that portion of it. The trick to re-entry is to turn off your SAS and your RCS. That way the drag will naturally push the spacecraft into re-entry naturally, and it'll hit the heat shield and it'll disperse it properly, and in that way it just comes in smoothly. But we went into the orbit. We didn't hit orbit or achieve orbit, but we went outside of the atmosphere. We were able to start a maneuver, didn't quite get where we needed to, but at least we were able to do our experimentation. And we have landed. Recover vessel, rinse and repeat, get science, spend science. 161 science, all right. How did we do? Suborbital flight, 4 points. Material study, 75 points. Mystery goo, 30 points. Crew report, 15 points. All right. Okay, we're going to go with advanced rocketry. That way we can get another bigger fuel tank. And we want some more... We want some more flight control, dang it. Okay, so we spent our science. Now we're going to go build a new rocket. This one will be better. And we're going to go from the ground up because we have so many different parts. Maybe not from the total ground up because we still want to keep... I hate how I have to do this every time. Every time. There might be a different way to do it, but that's the only way I know how to do it is to press in the frickin' center mouse button. But we're going to just separate it from this part, get rid of all of this, because we still want to keep our same science experimentation and recovery process. So that'll all stay the same. Get rid of that. Ooh, there's an... It's a lander can. That's so that we could go to the moon. That's a... Ooh. But anyway, we're not onto that portion yet. Monopropellant tank. Okay. Okay, so we're still not quite sure exactly, or at least I'm still not quite sure exactly how this is going to work. I hope it'll naturally feed through. My question is, I just want to make sure that I don't have to attach the RCS engines onto this small fuel bottle. That I'm going to attach them here and see if it just cross feeds. We did put the new thruster on there because it's got a small amount of weight for a decent amount of it's thrust in space. It's best in space. It's best in a vacuum. The other one's got a lot of thrust, but it uses a lot of fuel. This will limit the fuel a little bit more, and it's a better engine for being in the atmosphere, outer atmosphere. So this is going to be... Okay, this is going to be our... Basically, this is our orbital ship. Because we have our command module, our experimentation, and our putter around, and our RCS. We're going to put the advanced linear stabilizer on there. Okay, we're going to put both of them on there. Yeah! We'll see how that works. And since we keep deploying these chutes, We're going to deploy these chutes like this and then separate in case of emergencies. And we still have that heat shield there. Okay, now we're going to add a decoupler. What does this do? It says something about crossfeed. Crossfeed toggles in editor flight. Flight default off. Crossfeed. What crossfeed is it takes fuel and feeds fuel somewhere else. That's when you crossfeed. You crossfeed it over. Okay, that says crossfeed as well. I don't know. Okay, so we're just going to use a regular decoupler. This is a lot lighter. So we'll use this one, it's lighter. We'll add 2 of our larger fuel tanks now. Actually, we're going to go with 3 because we ran out of fuel a little bit too quick, in my opinion, in the outer atmosphere. We'll use our larger thrust. We'll put our radial decoupler on there. We'll put our now 2 fuel tanks on there. We'll put our more thrust on there. We'll put our nose cone. Then we'll do our strut connectors. And we need to do our crossway strut connectors. We're also going to put only 2 this time instead of the 3. We're going to put 2 on there. Why did it automatically go to 4? Look, it's on 2. And then it goes to 4. What the heck? That's cool. I guess we're going to go with 4. And I accidentally did that. Okay. Now we're going to go with our radial decouplers on the sides of these mother hoppers. And this time we're going to try to go big. I was about to say something really a little bit vulgar, but I like to keep my stuff a little bit G-rated. I don't cuss in any of my videos. Because I've got kids, and I don't want my kids like listening to a bunch of people playing games and just F this and F that and bomb. So I'd rather just keep my stuff nice and polite and G-rated. So we're just throwing our couplers on there to help keep these things solid, because I think that's what really helped us out in the last round, is the fact that these things weren't all over the place like they were last time. Okay, so now that we have all of those solidified, we'll throw the stack things on there. Alright, we'll see what we got. Let's check our stages. We have those that come unhooked. We have our solid fuels. I'm going to throw it all together. Alright, so now we got all of our solid fuels and our decouplers there. Solid fuel decoupler, solid fuel decoupler, liquid fuel. Alright, solid fuel decoupler, liquid fuel decoupler, center, drop, next center, next drop, recovery. Okay. Now we'll go test this. And hopefully because we have the new fuel, the new fuel tanks on there, that this will last longer than the solid fuel did last time, because if you remember last time the solid fuel I had to do some real funky stuff up here. So anyway, let's try this out. Okay, we're gonna combine these two. That way they're jumping all the solid fuels at the same time. Turn up the throttle, RCS and SAS, and this time we actually have RCS going. And we have ignition. Alright, I better achieve orbit this time. So all we're going to do is come up here now, and we're going to go with our normal. And we'll... Okay, now go to maneuver. Look at all of that fuel that we have. We have 2 full fuel tanks, and you can see the monopropellant helping us. We have 2 full fuel. You know, I wonder if we could actually do a pass to the moon with this much fuel that we have. Actually, we have 3 full fuel tanks. Are still at T-minus 2 minutes, so what we're going to do is we're going to show you that we can just tell it to it's not. That wasn't helping us out. It's not helping us. I'm trying to stop focusing on the planet. Alright, we'll warp there. T-minus 1 minute now. Okay, we're going to test fire. Burn time is 2 minutes. We're going to go ahead and just keep chugging. We're going to keep chugging along, because what you want to do is be half the time away, I think. Something like that. Something weird. As you can see, we're starting to... Our arc is starting to widen. We are almost to a half tank. And as you can see, we're still not really... It'll be pretty drastic. It'll be pretty drastic. It's just gonna go because once this goes over the horizon of the gravitational pull, it's just gonna bow out quickly. It just builds. It takes a little bit to build it. Almost out of fuel. Well, I was very wrong. I definitely would not be able to make it to the moon. Let's see how this goes. Almost there, come on! You can see how slow the fuel's going. I told you this would conserve our fuel. Almost. Almost. And we have orbit. We have achieved orbit. We still have a good chunk of fuel left, so we're going to try to go ahead and get this broaden. Broaden our fuel, or our orbit. Okay, we have achieved orbit. I'm going to cut the throttle so that we stop using gas. And if you wanted to, now would be the time to do an EVA. And to do a bunch of things, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to fly away, so I don't like doing EVAs because my guy always gets out and does weird things. So anyway, we're going to speed up. Actually, we're going to do our experimentation, see if our experimentation is going to be worth it. It's only 16 science. Our crew report is worth 0 science. Our mystery goo is worth 6 science. So let's do our orbit. We'll increase the time so that we can go faster around and around and around. You know, that's debris. Where are we on this? I don't see us. I still don't see us. That's interesting. Where are we at? Where are we at? I don't see us on the map. Huh. I still don't see us. But we've achieved orbit. We've orbited around, and our Kerbal has been in space for 2 hours and 38 minutes, 39 minutes, according to our time clock. And we're still not on the orbital map. I still don't see him. I don't know if I pressed the button or what. So we're going to go ahead and add a maneuver to bring him back. Or actually we'll increase. No, we won't. We'll bring him back. We'll bring him back. We made it to orbit. We'll bring him back. And I'm believing that I'm still heading in this direction, so this is where I'm going to my point of entry, and I want to aim for Watar. Watar. I want to land in Watar. Okay. I am now aiming for Watar. We will warp to our maneuver, tell it to aim at our maneuver. T-minus 8 seconds. Well, that's an oops. Okay, so at least we broke an orbit. We went ahead and decoupled, that way we can hit the atmosphere. And it's not letting me adjust it like it used to be. Like it used to. Our anti-rotation should at least help a little bit with using centrifugal forces, but for some reason it's not. We're going to go ahead and fast forward until we hit the atmosphere. And it's still not letting us adjust. And we're going to be pointing in the way wrong direction because it looks like they're making us go nose in when we totally need to flip around. And we're going to die. We're going to burn up on re-entry because it's going in like a bullet. Yep. Yep. Gonna burn up. I wonder if there's enough layers to save it. Holy poop on a platter. Come on, don't die. Not that it really matters too much, because we're not going to get too. The only science that we're going to get out of it is the science of being in orbit. I'm surprised it hasn't blown up yet. Holy crap. There's just enough crap on here to have done that. But we're entering aerodynamically now, and we're not going to create the pocket to slow down enough to be able to deploy our parachutes. It's still not letting me adjust. It still was not letting me adjust my the way that I was pointing. And we don't have our backup chute now. But we have a successful deployment of our other chutes, and we're down to 4 meters per second. So we have achieved orbit. We have returned from orbit. And I fast forward it, but it's not letting me fast forward it anymore. Or any faster. Of course, that's what happens when you're only going 4 meters per second. I still can't believe that it didn't burn everything up. It used the frickin' parachute as a heat shield, and that's funny. And we have gotten 30 science from returned from Kerbal orbit. And material study. Sweet. So we got a little bit of science. Is there anything that we want to spend? Nope, because everything else is 90. It's all 90. Because we don't need basic science, and I don't want to build this airplane. Well, this has been Credible Hulk playing Kerbal Space Program. I hope you all enjoyed actually achieving orbit and my many failures along the way. Please like, share, subscribe, give me ideas, give me pointers, email me, tell me what to do. Exterminate!